Danny. I'm going to bring you some skeptical news and events for this week. The Large Hadron Collider has been in the news again this week because a couple of physicists actually believe that it's coming back in time to stop its own future from occurring, because if it did occur and the particles were to hit each other trying to recreate the moments just after the Big Bang, then actually this would be going against the laws of nature. Sounds very sci-fi, but of course sci-fi and sci-fact are always very closely interlinked, so who knows. The bit that confuses me is that presumably it wouldn't be going against the laws of nature if the Big Bang were to be recreated in that way, or some of the particles that were around at that time, because that obviously is part of the laws of nature. Otherwise, how would it work? I don't know though, I'm not a scientist. But it's all quite interesting. It's sensible to be sceptical about news, especially if it's in tabloid papers. But now a documentary called Starsuckers has exposed this to the height. So what they've done is they've called up various tabloid papers and given them hoax stories about celebrities to see if they get printed. And of course, many of them did get printed the very next day. Some of them went worldwide. They also suggest that you and I call up the newspapers and give some of these hoax stories about celebrities, not to do any harm to the individuals, but as a way of giving them too much fake information so that eventually everyone will be cynical enough to never believe these stories. So this is Andrew Watts. He's a stand-up comedian and a Christian, so it's rather lucky to have the combination of the two, because you need a sense of humour if you're going to believe something like God. He's about to see Inherit the Wind, which is about Darwin. Any chance of a bit of evolution for you, and for you to become an atheist after seeing it?
I don't think so, because it's really yesterday's argument. And the argument between evolution and creation is really very much something that was a 19th century argument. Although if anyone could convince me, it would be Kevin Spacey, because I think he's fantastic.
So Kevin Spacey could potentially turn you...
If anyone could, he could.
Into an atheist, of course.
Well, he's a very charismatic man.
Thank you very much, and enjoy the play.
He likes to read books written for girls.
On my super speedy science and skeptical book review this week, it's Dan Ariely and Predictably Irrational. This is the same kind of book as Freakonomics, but even if you read and enjoyed that one, you won't find this one boring. And it's slightly repetitive in the sense that it does have some of the same articles that Freakonomics uses, so it's that kind of a thing, but I think you'll find it really interesting. It tends to focus a little bit more on the decisions that we make and how accurate we are, and what sort of cons maybe salesmen might use to try and trick us. But if you're a salesman, you'll like this book, because then you can trick the rest of us. So I like this book, and 8 out of 10. So Andrew Watts, we have now seen Inherit the Wind, the story of a teacher trying to teach Darwinism. Have you now converted from your silly position of Christianity to atheism?
No, I haven't.
What could convince you that being a Christian is very, very silly?
Nothing really.
So really what you're saying then is the evolution of Christian to atheism has failed in that way?
Yes, it's survival of the fittest.
So you're about to keel over, okay! Sad news for skeptics this week, as India's leading skeptic, Basava Premanand, has died. He published The Indian Skeptic. He was often compared with James Randi because he also tried to debunk some of the gurus and spiritual leaders of his country, mainly focusing on Sai Baba. What he would do is, he was a magician, so he would perform in the same way that these spiritual leaders would, but then show the audience how it was really done, so that they wouldn't have to be taken in by these guys just trying to make money and pretending that there was some supernatural force going on. So unfortunately, he died this week. On Thursday the 29th of October, the LSE are putting on a talk with with Noam Chomsky. He's going to be talking about human rights in the 21st century. You can find out all the details at the LSE website, lse.ac.uk. There's an interactive skeptical odyssey put on by Spares and CFI. It's called Monsters from the Deep. It's nearly a whole day on Saturday, the 7th of November, 10:45 until 3. Also, on the 7th of November, if you live in Ireland, there's the Dublin Paranormal Convention, or you might want to fly over for it. It's €15 and held at the Radisson Blu Royal Hotel in Golden Lane. So that was Skeptical news and events for this week. If you've got anything that you would like me to feature on this show, then just email me at danny@skeptic.org.uk. Bye-bye.